Ladies and gentlemen of Patreon, this is your...
Oh, is it just for Patreon?
Yeah, this is going to be for Patreon only. It is.
But
It's
what about
for
the
Patreon.
episode, Paul?
No, this is going to be in the episode, but to see it visually.
Okay.
They get to watch it on...
Fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So that's the gimmick.
Okay.
So people just get to listen, but if you're Patreon, that means you, then you get to see this. And it's exclusive only to Patreon people.
Okay.
Right, okay?
Okay.
Right, we
Yeah.
are recording. Let's just get going. We're going to set the scene, ladies and gentlemen. You see behind the scenes here in the
Country.
Urban Noodle Testlab kitchen.
Yes.
Cunt. Cunt. Right, I'm going to do my intro.
Okay.
Here we are, flying through the sky again, floating in on a magic noodle cloud, heading to our destination, the Country Urban Noodle Testlab kitchen. Let's fly in through the window and see if Eli's ready waiting for us this week. Ah, he is. Oh, I've landed. Hello, Mr. Silverman.
Oh, hello. Surprised to see you come through the window, Mr. Paul.
Well, I thought I'd just come by and see one of your wonderful noodle recipes.
Well, we've got a little special visit to the Country Urban Noodle Testlab kitchen today, Paul, because lots of people who are interested in noodles and interested in this podcast, Paul,
Yeah?
they have a very deep interest in noodles.
Yeah.
And
Are you lying to yourself, you demented prick?
and sauces, as we know,
Good.
from the will of the people. So,
Stop saying will of the fucking people. Like it's a get-out excuse for every argument you want to win.
well, yeah. Anyway, so this is a special edition of the Country Urban Noodle Kitchen. We're going to take our first tentative toe in the water, Paul.
Yes.
And look at the pimpings. The elements of pimping.
Pimping.
The elements of noodle pimping, I call this.
Is this
Volume
pimping,
1.
Pimping 101, Volume 1.
Volume 1. Now,
If you're listening to this and going, oh, I wish you could see what Eli's up to. Well, if you're a Patreon person, you could be, because we're filming this and it's going to be exclusive to see. So, it's like Nigella Lawson.
So, what you're saying, Paul, is for as little as $1 per month, they could have visual access to the pimping secrets of Noodle Meistery and his noodle pimping kitchen time.
Well, yeah, but I might put up to 10.
Really?
Well, you got to give people incentive to give. They can't give it all away.
So this won't be available, this would be a tier.
We haven't discussed this. This is really awkward. This is awkward.
All right.
So here we go. So, what are we doing?
Pimping a noodle, Paul, let's just take it back to basics.
Yeah.
Is what the term that I have for taking a noodle and adding to it. You
Right.
pimp it up in a way that Exhibit pimped his ride for so many years on MTV's programme.
What a
Pimp My
great
Ride.
frame of reference. Pimp my ride.
Okay, so, but I'm going to pimp my noodle. I like to pimp a noodle. There's very few noodles in the range of noodles in this world that stand up just by themselves without any pimping. And it's a rare noodle. It's a rare and exciting noodle that does that.
Now, there tend to be 3 baggers.
They tend to be 3 baggers. So, where pimping comes to its own is in the low sachet spectrum of the noodle world. This we've got here, this you can't really get a noodle more basic than this. This is a KoKo noodle to 1 bagger, and that bag is chicken flavour.
Show it to the camera. Show it to the camera. Bit closer. There we go. Lovely. He's showing it to the camera.
So,
Plain, ordinary chicken.
it's
KoKo
very
noodle.
ordinary, and you know that kind of chicken, that artificial sort of chicken soup flavour.
Yeah.
Very unexciting.
Very boring.
This would be a very dissatisfying noodle
Right.
if you were to just make it and put that on. It'd be really, really thin on the ground in flavour. So, I'm going to take you through a very basic pimping process with this KoKo chicken flavoured noodle, Paul.
Right.
Okay? Now, it's what I call the student pimp. Yeah? And which isn't a funny way to make money when you're a student. Not funny.
No, that's why I ignored it and let you crack on.
It is how I started in the pimping noodle game.
Ah, I see. This is
When I was a student.
This is a back to basic roots
This is what I used to do. Now, the problem is this chicken broth sachet has no power.
Oh.
It has nothing to it. So what I do, and this is a pimp that will work for a lot of noodles, But if the noodle has 3 sachets, it's probably been covered. What you do is you do a soup base. This is behind the curtain now. We're through the looking glass here, people. Okay, so
Tell me what ingredients you're going to be adding then to this
to
recipe.
I'm boiling water, and I'm going to just boil some water first. First, I take some garlic. I'm crushing the garlic.
Crushing it.
Ooh, I could crush a garlic.
Let me just give a quick little show to the camera, close up. Here we go.
So I'm taking 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm smashing them, and then I'm going to chop them finely, okay? As my dad likes to call it, Goodfellas garlic.
Goodfellas garlic?
Which is
Why?
a-
Because you smash it heavy?
Well, no, because it's a reference to this prison scene in Goodfellas. Have you seen it? Where he's slicing the garlic extremely thinly so that it dissolves straight into the oil.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. I don't. Goodfellas is shit.
Come on, mate. You're just trying to rile me. You're just trying to rile me. So, I'm going to chop this garlic very finely.
He's chopping it finely.
I've got a nice knife to do it. Did you know as well that garlic tastes different depending on how you chop it?
I didn't know that.
So it's much more bitter if you puree it with one of those crushes.
This show is dangerously close to being informative.
But it's less bitter and sort of a bit more fragrant if you just chop it, as I'm doing here.
So
Finely
you're
chopped.
roughly chopping it.
I'm roughly chopping some garlic, and I've boiled some water there. The other pre-pimp element is ginger.
Now, you don't need too ginger using it, isn't that right?
Ginger is it's very strong, and I don't like ginger in things where you've got like big chunks of fibrous ginger and you're chewing down on that hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You like a hint?
I like the taste of the ginger without having to deal with the frankly sort of fibrous quality of it as an actual physical object. You know what I mean?
Well, it's 3 minutes in, and I've lost the will to live. Ladies and gentlemen.
Here, I'm chopping it very finely. The garlic,
Just going to show the
Ginger.
camera people again.
the ginger, and then I'm putting those together, as you see, and then chopping them all together. Paul, look.
Oh, he's chopping it all together. It's madness.
This is going to give our noodle a real flavour base that is going to, just add to it so much. You can do this with almost any kind of simple noodle.
What, you mean chop something up? Yeah, you're right. You can do that to nearly any fucking simple...
No, what I'm saying is you wouldn't want to do it if it's a 3-packer and it's got like a quite sophisticated lot of flavour going on. You might actually ruin the flavour that the manufacturer's going for with this. But with a basic thing, like chicken,
Yeah.
shrimp flavour, you know what I mean? Like one of the very basic flavours, beef,
Yeah.
yeah. This is always going to work. So I've boiled my kettle.
Does anyone know how much pain I'm in right
Now I've boiled my kettle. And now, look at how much water does it say is needed, please.
now? I'll have a look. Place noodles into 400 mils of
400
boiling
mil.
water
That's standard for one of these basic noodles.
and cook for 2 minutes. Add seasoning and stir.
So you can see, because this is my trusted noodle pan,
Yeah.
there is actually a line that has sort of burnt into this pan, and that is 400. I know that to be 400, so I can just do it by eye.
That's fascinating.
Amazing.
That's a cook's tool if ever I saw one.
Amazing. So can you turn the heat on at the back there?
On here?
On the back one?
Oh shit, if I'd known that I wouldn't have put my camera there.
Well, where else
Hang
would I
on, I
fucking
didn't
cook
know.
the
I thought you
noodle,
were
you
just doing it in a
idiots?
fucking pot, didn't I?
What do you mean?
I
At the
was going to do it in
pot?
the kettle. I didn't know you were going to carry on boiling it.
No, this is not one of those.
I don't know how you turn this fucking thing on. Ah, it's clicking in my ears.
Right, there we go. I've got the pan on, alright?
Right, you got the pan on.
There it is. Now, I pre-boiled it, so I'm not waiting for it to come to the boil. I'm just taking my garlic and ginger crushingtons, and I'm going to scoop the crushingtons
Scoop.
into the water there.
Straight into the water.
And I'm going to let that boil. Let that come to the boil for a few minutes, okay?
This is
And that will imbue.
fascinating stuff. Eat your cock off. Barry Lewis is My Virgin Kitchen. We're doing My Pimpy Noodles.
Now you will.
There we go.
There you go, and it's going to imbue it with a lot of flavour.
It's going to imbue it.
Imbue the water with a lot of flavour
Imbue it. Excellent.
before we cook the noodle in it.
Right.
But whilst that's happening,
Oh,
Paul.
hang on, I should put it in your mouth, not mine, because I'm not talking.
Whilst that's happening, Paul, let's look at what I.
Your dick. Come on, ladies.
No, no,
get it
no,
out. Get
no,
the noodle out.
no.
much money we'd get? You could just get your dick out.
Well, how much are you offering me? I want cash on the table.
£250.
I want 50s lined up as long as I could extend my dick. So
£50. Eli's got a small penis.
Now, in all
It does
seriousness,
need repeating.
in all seriousness, Paul,
Eli has a small penis.
kind of look at me when you say that. You're looking at the camera, are you?
You have a small penis.
Fuck off.
Right?
No, I don't. It's reasonably sized.
It's economic.
It's ergonomic. Fits in
Yeah,
the
'cause
hand.
people look at it and go, ugh.
Oh, mate, that is poor. That's a very
Shut up.
poor pun. So, what am I holding in my hand now, Paul?
Spring onion.
That is, if you ask me, the most basic pimping item you're ever going to get for a noodle. It
Right.
is the atomic nucleus of noodle pimping. It's a scallion or a green onion or a spring onion.
Oh, you scallion.
Yeah. So, any
Right.
noodle will be improved with this.
Right.
I'd say I couldn't think of a single noodle that wouldn't be improved with spring onions. My ex-girlfriend, I made her a noodle once, yeah? Do you know what she said? I don't like wet spring
You
onions.
betrayed
I
me.
don't like wet... She said, I don't like wet spring onions.
What's that
What
mean?
kind of weirdo? Every spring onion you eat is going to be wet, you idiot. No wonder we broke up.
Yeah, that's the reason
Yeah,
why.
anyway.
And not your copious amounts of issues.
Well, someone bumped into her the other day. She's living on a boat on a canal and she has like a can of white lightning. So, who's doing better?
It's interesting,
Who's
isn't it?
doing better?
Well, I mean, come on.
She is, yeah. Right.
She is.
Yeah, she lives on a boat.
So, let's have a look at your onions. Here we go.
I'm giving the onion a trimming, and I'm cutting the
Hang on, I'm just turning this down a little bit, the volume.
the
Got it.
dried bit off
Yeah.
at the end. As long as you take all of the outside layers off, you don't really need to wash a spring onion because it's so packed together. You know, what's the point? But if they have long green bits, I will rinse out the dirt that sometimes accumulates in the hollow stems at the top. Okay. There you go. Chop the hairy Norman off.
Harry Norman.
That's what the head of the onion's called.
Is it?
Look, what does it look like to you? A hairy Norman.
Hairy Norman.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly a hairy Norman. Hello, I'm Hairy Norman. I'm not a new character, that's for sure. So, chop the
I'll
onion.
put the camera back. Here we go. There, oh shit, I fucking fucked it. Hang on. Don't make any more things happen until I've framed it up. Here we go. Zoom it in a little bit. Here we go. That's nice.
Now,
That's nice, ladies and gentlemen.
are you getting the odour coming off that?
I am getting a nice
Is that
oniony-
pleasant? It's like garlicky, gingery odour.
Yeah.
So you can see that's the flavour that's going to give a lot more background to the chicken. And I'm chopping a spring onion. What I do with spring onions as a pimp is I will add that at the last minute so they completely retain their freshness, bit of bite, bit of crunch, bit of freshness, grassy, oniony freshness. It's the atomic nucleus of noodle pimping. It is the spring onion. Spring onion, pimp recipe item number 1. I can't emphasise that enough, Paul.
I am dead inside at this point.
Okay, so there. Now, with the classic student noodle, I would have cooked some bacon as well, and I would be dicing the bacon. But I'm not doing that because I haven't got any bacon today. But that was the classic. That's what I always used to do. Spring onion, sweet corn. I've got a can of spring corn here. That's going to add a lot. So,
What's happening now then?
I'm going to drain my sweet corn. Now I think the it's boiled long enough.
Yeah, it is now boiling.
So I'm going to do the classic noodle breaking technique. We've all been here before, Paul, but it warrants repeating. In half, both halves. I have 4 easily manageable quarters of the noodle pad.
Oh,
ready
you
to go in.
fucking lucky!
Now let's get this one pack. Look at that. It's a terrible pack, and it's got a picture of a cock on it.
Chicken. Chicken.
And I'm going to put my noodle. That water's been boiling away the garlic and the ginger. It will
This
have
is
lots
like
of
remember
flavour.
the TV show, Get Stuffed. This is like that.
Yeah.
And just as annoying.
I used to
And
love
cheap.
Get Stuffed.
Get Stuffed! It's more like this, isn't it? Oh, making an egg omelette. Then does all this shit, and then it's like, oh.
Those were the days. Right, there we go. Whilst my noodle's cooking, it will only take 2 minutes, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm going to drain the excess water off my sweet corn. Canned sweet corn.
Sorry, say again.
I'm going to drain the excess water off my sweet corn, which some people don't like sweet corn, mainly because it just turns up in your poo, and so you sort of associate it with poo when you eat it. Do you know what I mean? It's like asparagus. You know, asparagus makes you a wee smell of asparagus.
Yeah.
Then you start thinking the smell of asparagus is like the smell of wheat, and you go off it.
It depends how often you...
And can I just say, celery, yeah? Don't attack celery.
At this point...
I'm draining it.
Go on, drain it then. I'm fixing the camera.
I'm draining the sweet corn, and that's not a euphemism.
So he's now pissing in the... no.
That was good. That was funny.
Yeah? Thank you.
Right, so I've drained my sweet corn. I've got my spring onion. I'm going to actually do 1.5 spring onions, Paul.
Right, okay, good. Sorry. It's the first time I've not used this camera a lot, so I'm trying it out. So it's so exciting.
And then I'm going to be sprinkling that on the top. So this is basic pimping. I mean, there's not much more else to say. Our noodle's going to be ready. What I like to do, what they do say on most noodle instructions, Paul, is that you should put the soup base in right at the beginning before you even cook the noodle. I don't think that's the right way to do it.
Let it soften first.
Yeah, and I'll just put the powder in the bowl and then just pour it right on. It keeps the powder fresh, so that it's not, you know.
Great tip. No, great tip. Sorry, you're pouring it in the bottom of the bowl. Let's just get the camera having a look at this.
Powder goes in the bottom of the bowl, yeah?
There you go.
Powder goes in the bottom of the bowl. Now, is my noodle ready? What do you think, Paul?
I don't know how long's it been in there for. Like 2 minutes? It says 2 minutes on the fucking thing.
Has it been 2 minutes? How tender does this look to you?
It looks tender. I don't know. It's a fucking noodle.
Is that a noodle? Does that look like a tender noodle?
What are you doing?
I'm just taking it out. Does that look cooked to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready to take the noodle off the heat.
Juggling both of these fucking things right now.
Well, don't fucking complain to me. I'm the fucking talent.
What am I pointing at? I don't know what I'm pointing at.
Don't mess this up. People need guidance on how to fucking pimp their noodles, Paul. Fucking moaning. Right, taking the noodle off the heat. Oh, I like to get the liquid off. And just first liquid.
Oh, it's making the camera all foggy.
To get all the powder dissolved.
Yeah.
Before, then splosh. Yeah, it's gone on. The noodle's in. And now, oh mate, that's taking me back. That is reminding me of being a student eating noodles. The smell of that chicken noodle. Okay, now we want some sweet corn. Do you like sweet corn, Paul?
Yeah, it's fine. Time and a place kind of snack.
Well, I think you'll find it works very well in this noodle, because you will be tasting this noodle, telling me what you think.
Great.
So, those are the two basic pimping elements. I've put my sweet corns in. Canned sweet corn I find works. You could do frozen, but then, you know...
It loses something.
I think it does. And then I'm liberally sprinkling my chopped spring onion on top like that, Paul. On top there. Now, there is a certain fan of the show, Paul, who posts sort of pornographic close-ups of noodles that he's pimped.
Don't know who you mean.
Yeah, something about homeless, ejaculate, window cleaner, or something like that. Something like that, his name. And then, but if those pictures that person posts of his pimp noodles always have a big wedge of lemon in the noodle. What? What's going on? Cut that out. What's the wedge of lemon talking about? Why does that work? For certain dishes, noodle dishes, dry noodle dishes, like a pad thai, yes, a squeeze of lemon is required. But for this, if you just get a watery chunk of lemon in your fucking noodle, that's not pimping. That's like being a madam and you just sit downstairs and let the punters go upstairs.
It's nothing like that at all. It's the worst fucking analogy you could have made. Comparing lemon in a noodle to prostitution and sex.
Well, that's what the metaphor is pimping, isn't it?
Well, that's great association then.
Right.
So do I only get 5% of this?
Yes. You get 2%, mate. So, that noodle is done. Can you give that a huff and tell me, does that smell like a nutritious and tasty snack?
Oh, it smells a bit Gregsy.
Gregsy?
It's got a feeling like Greg's sausage rolls.
Yeah, it's that artificial chicken stock kind of flavour, isn't it?
Actually, that's what it is. You're right.
Okay, now we're going to look at what I consider...
Hang on, stop talking. I'm doing this. This is more important. The fucking Patreon people need more. They need more from us and we're not giving it. Christ, these fucking tripod legs are shit.
Christ, shut up.
God. Right, here we go.
Okay, Paul. Now, I've prepared the noodle. Just to recap on the pimping that happened with this very basic 1 sachet KoKo chicken flavoured noodle, I finely chopped some garlic and ginger and boiled that in the noodle cooking water before to add flavour. That's an important pimping element. Then I took the atomic nucleus of noodle pimping, a spring. You have to stick with us. A spring onion.
It's the way you're drawing it out.
And then I'm just recapping. I put the spring onion in and some sweet corn. But what it needs is the finishing pimping touches now, Paul. The condiments. Yeah? Never skip on the condiments. Never forget the condiments. And we go to possibly the second most important pimping element of any noodle. Paul.
Soy sauce.
Soy sauce.
Right, get on with it.
Now, there's a little thing about soy sauce. You get 2 types. Do you know the 2 types? The main main types of soy sauce?
Brown and white.
No, Paul. No.
Brown and
Have
black.
you seen white soy sauce?
Brown and white. I was given white soy sauce.
Well, yeah. Special
Skip
white.
to the end, it's sponge. Alright? Skip to the end, it's sponge.
No, there is light soy sauce
Right.
and dark soy
That's
sauce.
what I said.
But you'd assume that the dark soy sauce was more salty, wouldn't you? It's not. The light one is in fact more salty. Anyway, little tip for you there.
Which one's this then?
Dark. It's got more flavour.
Dark.
It's got a sweeter and it's got more flavour. Less salty, more on the sweet side.
Okay.
Okay?
So why is it called light if it's saltier?
It's actually the colour. It's actually the... it's a different type of soy sauce.
Oh, what a
It's just
shit.
it's just cut lighter, but it is saltier.
Load of shit.
Oh. So, like it salty? There we go. Liberally.
That's too much.
That's not too much.
That's too much.
That is definitely not too much.
That's too much. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? That's too
No, that's fine.
That's too
Now-
much.
The other thing that I love my noodles to be spicy, Paul. So,
Right.
I'm going to put some of this oof.
Oofed. Oh, we've heard about it on the show, but oofed's coming
This
into the
very
picture.
strong Trinidadian hot sauce. I'm going to pour it in there, just a little bit at the side,
Oh.
and then mix that thoroughly in. So you get an even heat. And then all the soy sauce has gone in. Look at that.
So
Oh,
one last
now-
look for the camera.
And now, this is, yes. It's a basic... Oh, can you smell that?
Oh, it's
The hot sauce coming off it.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
Paul, so
Yeah.
I would say that's a very basic pimping I've done there to
Right.
this noodle. The most important element, spring onions and the soy sauce. If I could, it had to get rid of everything else.
Yeah.
The spring onion and the soy sauce would still make that good. Okay. Yeah. Now is the moment of truth, Paul. I'd like you to take a little bit, taste a bit of the noodle
Yeah.
with some spring onion and sweet corn on it, and then have a little sip of the broth. Okay.
All right. It's hard to get it all on.
Just taste it. You can have a few goes, you know.
Oh, here's a good bit.
He's eating some noodle with the spring onion and
Oh.
sweet corn there.
Mmm.
Now have a little bit of the broth. Sip a little bit of the broth.
Oh, yes, Daddy. Oh, that's a spicy meatball.
It's spicy. So, what are your impressions of my pimped chicken noodle there, Paul?
I pity the fool who doesn't like your noodle pimping.
No. So, what do you really think? Come on.
I really like that. It's nice. I like the spice because it lingers and gives more to the flavour.
It's quite spicy, salty, and you've got some texture. That is
Yeah, it's
added.
got flavour and texture.
So not bad.
Considering what we started with, that's a much more exciting meal.
It is, but you'd still you prefer like the flat, because I know you have been privately buying yourself some broad noodles, hot and spicy one, hot and sour, aren't they?
They were very nice,
Yeah.
and they're very satisfying, but they're mega hot. But this is a nice trade-off. This is not too hot, but it leaves a nice tingle.
That brings me back. That really takes me back to my early noodle career.
Oh, so there we go. That's the basic noodle 101, chapter 1 of Eli's Noodle Urban Country Noodle Urban Kitchen Test Lab.
Yeah. And we'll be looking at more advanced pimping options
Next time.
next time,
Well,
including frozen deep fried tofu and chili oil with shrimp.
Well, that's all very exciting. Well, I have to go now, Mr. Silverman. I must fly away.
All right.
It's been lovely in your noodle kitchen.
It's been lovely seeing you, Paul.
All right.
Fly away.
I've learned something, and maybe you've learned something as well, kids, listening to this. But I must go. Here I'm off. Just got to open the window. And off I fly to join you back another day at the Eli Silverman's Country Urban Noodle Testlab kitchen.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Flap hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Good segment, Paul.
Yeah, it's nice. Don't congratulate ourselves on camera just yet. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. I know this is a cheap and cheerful video, but we're cheap shows, so I think that's fair enough. So we'll be continuing to make cheap and cheerful videos for you in the coming decades. Until then, take care of yourself, and remember,
Eat a noodle.